Hi Capricorn, this is your love reading for May. It's for Capricorn Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. It's if you're spying on a Capricorn. And we're going to do couples as well as singles. Let's get started.
That sexy person walking by.
I keep forgetting to mention this, but for those of you who don't know, if you go to my website, and there's like a link in the description box below, you can sign up to win a free reading every month. And so like you just sign up once and you're automatically in the drawing for Everstyle. And so I just wanted to let you know. Okay, that's it. Okay, Capricorn couples. What kind of stuff from the past is affecting your relationship in May? And they're saying, you know, whenever you've been like really in your feelings and, you know, kind of making those known and they were opposite of maybe what your partner wanted, there might be some resentment there. You might be coming across as like a little bit selfish this month from your partner's perspective. So that's just something to keep in mind. So why is it that you want what you want so badly? And they say, well, honestly, you know, this is something that's really important to you. But it is also something that's coming a little bit from ego that you're a little bit defensive about. So what can you do in order to sort of come to a middle ground? And they say, well, the answer is there. It's right in front of you. You know how to negotiate this. You're just refusing to see it. Okay? Especially if it's in regards to like work, home, money, long-term investments, moving, you know, maybe putting a patio on your house. It's like you're just seeing things differently. And that could totally be something that you argue about this month. And you're just like unwilling to see the middle ground, that solution there. So why is it you just can't let go? And they say, well, the challenge is because you're just not excited about it. So who's right here? I mean, you're both probably a little bit right. And they say, well, the right thing is just the no drama path, if you can try to find a way there. So how do you go about eliminating this drama? And they're like, okay, so you've got to try to spiritualize this a little bit and try to manifest the best outcome. Like, what is it that you actually want? Why is it important to you? And then I guess it's going to depend on your own spiritual practice, but focus on that is essentially what they're telling you to do. Think about what is it that you actually want. So is it that you don't want to spend money on like a home renovation type project or buying a new car or something like that? So focus on the fact instead of not what you don't want, but what you do. I want to have more security. I want to have more money put away. You know, focus on those kind of aspects because then maybe there's a middle ground. Maybe there's a way to start working towards both items. So ultimately, what can you expect in regards to love aside from that chasm in May? And they're saying that you will get the things that you desire, the things that you want, so long as you're focused on what you want as opposed to what you don't want. What factors are influencing your love life this month? And they say it's sort of like this lack of confidence and enthusiasm like we talked about. It's you could get sort of stuck in a rut or stuck in a routine. And while that is very comfortable and predictable, it makes us feel secure in our relationship, it might not be awesome for your partner. In fact, it'll be very disappointing for them. And it's not necessarily that they're going to cheat on you or betray you or anything like that, but I do think they're going to let their disappointment known. Like, you know, they might say, hey, I'm feeling a little bit bored. I want to do something exciting. And you're just like, no. And, you know, for maybe you have a really good reason why. But, you know, maybe you're busy, or maybe it is a money thing, because it seems like money will be impacting your relationship this month. But ultimately, you know, you're going to feel hurt that they're even expressing it to you in the first place. And you've got to try to shift your perspective. There's no reason for you all to be hurting and in pain this month. Also, outside people might influence your relationship. This could be, you know, potential competition for your partner, but I'm not getting it that way. I'm getting it more as like family issues. Like, you know, maybe your partner's sibling has an opinion or something they want to do, and they're pushing this influence on your partner, and, you know, it's like 2 against 1 when you're trying to discuss things. So anyway, just be aware of that and try to avoid drama at all costs, but also be open and receptive to things that are new or different. How are other people's perceptions going to affect your relationship this month? And they say nothing. It really won't. Like, you just pay attention to the work that you're doing on your relationship, like within your relationship, the details that your partner is also putting in, you know? So for example, if your partner takes the garbage out one day and you're like, oh, that was cool. Make sure that you kind of go almost over and above and saying, hey, you know what? I noticed that you did that, and I was really happy that you did that, and it just brings me so much joy. Because they need that appreciation. It says that, like, so it's not that your relationship is on the fritz. For some of you might be speaking about divorce, okay? You're just not seeing eye to eye. But for the others of you who are in that secure relationship, it's almost like your partner's just not feeling necessarily content with that. Like, they need something more exciting right now. And it doesn't mean they're going to stray, but it would be in your better interest to pump some excitement into the relationship in May, okay? What can get in your way of bringing more love into your relationship this month? And they say, well, by not being necessarily focused on the things that make your heart shine. Again, it's like we're focusing maybe a little bit more on the things that are wrong in the relationship, on the things we disagree on, as opposed to focusing on the things we do agree on, we're on the same page about, and the things that we love about our partner and about our relationship. So what's the best course of action or advice for you in May? And they say, follow your gut instincts, but also be willing to try things that you're not exactly sure how they're going to turn out. You know, sometimes the things that are mysteries end up to be really amazing. I mean, sometimes they don't, right? But sometimes they do. You might discover something really wonderful as a result of sort of just trying something new, walking down a path you haven't walked down before. You know, for example, you see a dark alley and you know it's a shortcut, and part of you's like, oh, that's scary. But, you know, you're like, I'm feeling adventurous. I'm going to force myself to do this anyway because I'm on a time crunch. It's a shortcut. And you find $100 on the ground. Like, you never know. I'm not saying put yourself in dangerous situations. Maybe that was a shitty example. But what I am saying is just be open to the possibility that things could go right as opposed to going wrong. You might be in this mindset, like, what happens if it fails? What happens if it's amazing? You know, that's more the mindset you want to have in regards to anything affecting your relationship and in regards to your relationship this month. So what happens if you kind of ignore that advice and you don't adopt that mindset? Well, you're just going to be in the same position that you were when you started May. Your relationship's going to be the same. What happens if you follow it? And they say better emotional balance and your relationship blooms and it grows and it's more tranquil and it's more peaceful and happy and blessings come as a result. So there's no reason not to. So try to be more of an optimist in your relationship, a little bit more flexible. You'll be glad that you did. Now, single Capricorns. What's up, single Capricorns? So in general, they're saying it is a month to get out there. It is a month to be excited about dating, to go and find somebody, and you are in total control over the type of relationship that you are bound to attract. They say that the challenge this month is to focus on the positives as opposed to the negatives, and like really putting yourself out there and trying to date and getting to know people and things like that. They're saying like you might have this fear that you're going to attract somebody who's not good for you. Like maybe you're going to put a lot of effort into finding the right partner and come up empty-handed. But that's your choice to adopt that mindset or not. They're like, the timing is actually really good for you to go out there and be excited about it because it should yield you positive results in May. So what is it that you actually want right now? And they're saying a lot of you are probably looking for somebody who's a good lover, okay? Like in a sexual way. Like you want somebody that you're sexually attracted to, and that's actually a good thing. But also somebody who is not like a clear bad person to be with. Like you definitely don't want to end up in an abusive or toxic relationship, one that's possessive or manipulative, because you've been there before and you like know the warning signs, so you're a little bit careful. And so there might be a little bit of fear here too. Like if I'm massively attracted to someone straight out the gate, what is it that I'm attracted to? Am I attracted to, you know, like this negative pattern that I've been in before? And the answer is no. This month it doesn't have to be that way, okay? They're saying that focus on the positives. Just kind of like the Capricorn couples had there. Like, okay, so maybe you have all of these fears, right? And they're hard to just eliminate, to just say, okay, you know what? I don't believe that anymore. Easier said than done. But what you can say is, I am so excited that I'm in the process of meeting the right person for me. I'm in the process of attracting someone that is not only good for me, that would be a healthy relationship for me, but I'm also physically attracted to. Like when we're using the law of attraction to draw in the things that we desire, that we want, we have to be careful with the way that we're wording things, because otherwise it doesn't work. We can make all the affirmations in the world that we want, but it doesn't help if we don't truly believe them. So if you shift the word from like, I am with the person that I desire and I'm super attracted to, you don't believe it because you're still single, right? So if you're in the process of, it becomes your truth and it becomes easier. What can you expect in love this month? And they're saying, you know, ultimately, a lot of you are kind of just thinking you're going to meet people who aren't for your highest good. And if that's your mindset, then that's exactly what you're going to attract. So they say, be really careful about those details I was talking about if you are using the law of attraction to manifest things that you want. Otherwise, you're just going to kind of stay stagnant. You're just going to be single. You know, your May is going to be exactly the way that April was. And, you know, ultimately that's just the way it's going to be until you make that shift. What kind of factors are going to be influencing your love life? And they're saying, you know, like this sort of being comfortable with being single and this no drama is actually a super good thing. Whatever you've gotten used to, like if you're comfortable with that, that's awesome because it eliminates the desperation sort of aspect and it inhibits you from pairing up with the wrong person. Remember how I said you're less inclined this month to pair up with somebody who is bad for you because you're more like, I'd rather be alone than be with somebody who's a total shithead for the sake of not being alone. Like if you're more comfortable in being without a partner, that's actually a really good thing for you in May. How are other people perceiving you? They're maybe not perceiving you right now because some of you just haven't been looking. Some of you maybe seem a little bit like you're not that interested. And that's okay if you're not interested in them, right? But if there's somebody that you're actually got your eye on, you have to make it clear to them that it is something that you want. You have to sort of chase them and go after them. You have to be more of this fire sign energy and make it very clear because either they're one, not picking up on the signals, or two, you might be kind of like laying back and thinking like, well, I want to be pursued. You know, but that's not going to work for you in this specific instance. In the month of May, you have to be the pursuer. You have to be that lion, like, you know, go out and get what you want. So it's going to be maybe sort of challenging for you, but it will definitely pay off for you if you're able to do that. If you're kind of sitting back and you're like, well, you know, the right person will flow to me at the right time. Cool. Good. But it's just going to take longer then. Okay. What is the best way for you to find love this month? And it's just saying keeping that positivity, and you're being the person who goes out and starts conversations. You have to be very much an extrovert this month. You have to be the person inviting other people out, okay? It's just the way that it is this month. There are going to be people who are interested in you, but they're also in the mindset of like, I'm going to sit back and wait for them to approach me because I can't tell if they're interested or whatever. You have to make it super, super clear. What can get in the way of finding love? And they're saying, like, other people might start coming in trying to offer you love, like as you're trying to chase somebody else. And so just be careful that you're kind of figuring out what is it that I want, so that you know where to direct your time and energy. Like, part of you might say, okay, so I'm chasing this person and here comes this other love offer. Maybe I should just entertain that a little bit, but then you lose your focus on the other person and then end up that was like the person that you actually wanted, and you're not really interested in this person. You're only interested because they showed up, right? So one thing I really, really stress to you, and I want you to remember, is you are the chaser this month. You are the person going out and finding what it is that you want. And also that's a good thing, because that's how you're going to make sure that the person that you end up with, if you end up with somebody in May, is what you actually want, as opposed to a matter of convenience. Okay. What is the outcome for you if you do go out and try to find your match? They're like, it won't be dramatic. You might come across a few people who are going to lie about their intentions and what they want, but ultimately it's not going to affect you because you're going to be able to see through that. Like, you're going to feel secure either way. So they're like, if you're not sure about a person's intent, if you're not sure that this is, you know, what you want, sleep on it a day. Think about it. The signs will come to you. They're saying, like, you're totally in control of how your May turns out in regards to your love life. You get to choose the outcome. It's like a choose your own adventure book. You know, you end up the way that April was, the way that May starts, or you will end up with somebody that you want to be with, but it does require you to do some work here to do the chasing. If you ignore that advice and you just sit back, what happens? They're like, then love is pretty hopeless for you. This is a month of co-creation. It's not a month of necessarily like magical manifestation and things just fall into place. Sometimes that's the month's energy, and I wish it was the month's energy every month for you, but it's not right now. In May, it just isn't, okay? So you've got to go out and do the chasing, be that lion, get what you want, and then maybe love will be here for you. But again, it does require your own co-creation of that reality. So that's May, and I will see you soon for general readings. Thanks so much for watching this video and getting all the way to the end of it. I really appreciate your support. If you are interested in other videos, click here. If you are interested in subscribing, go ahead and click here. Hit that notification bell so that you get alerted to when new videos come out, and also when I do surprise live streams. And then if you're interested in winning a free 20-minute video reading personally every month, go ahead and click right here. Mwah!